If you've lived in Anambra or followed the news from the southeast recently, you already know how every Monday now comes with a kind of tension. Shops closed, roads empty, people indoors, and an economy that seems to pause once every week. Now, the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, is saying clearly that there is no going back and that the era of Monday sit at home in the state must come to an end. According to recent statements credited to the governor, his administration insists that the sit-at-home order, which has lingered for years in different forms, is no longer acceptable and will not be allowed to continue. He argues that Anambra cannot keep shutting down one full day every week and still expect businesses to survive, children to attend school regularly, or investors to take the state seriously. Before we go further, if you find this kind of clear, balanced explanation helpful, please take a moment to like this video, share it with others who need to understand what's going on, subscribe to the channel for more updates like this, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Your support really helps this conversation reach more people. To understand why this issue matters so much, we need to look at how the Monday sit-at-home started and how it evolved. Originally, the sit-at-home was linked to protest and agitation in parts of the southeast, especially around political grievances and demands for self-determination. In the early days, compliance was driven mostly by sympathy and voluntary participation. Many people stayed indoors as a form of silent protest, believing it would send a message to the authorities. Over time, however, reports from residents and local observers suggest that the situation changed. What began as a voluntary action slowly turned into something enforced by fear in some areas. Traders began to close their shops, not because they agreed, but because they were afraid of possible attacks, harassment, or destruction of property. Transporters avoided the roads. Parents kept their children at home on Mondays, not as a political statement, but as a safety measure. Governor Soludo's position is that this reality is unacceptable for a state that wants to grow economically. He has repeatedly said that Anambra is a commercial hub driven largely by traders, small businesses, artisans, and daily economic activity. Shutting all that down every Monday, according to him, is like inflicting a self-imposed wound on the state's economy. So our reports indicate that the state government believes billions of naira are lost every single Monday due to the shutdown. Markets remain closed, banks do not operate fully, transport fares disappear, and daily wage earners simply lose income they can never recover. For someone who depends on daily sales to feed their family, one lost day a week is not a small thing. Multiply that by months and years, and the damage becomes very clear. The governor has also argued that beyond money, the sit-at-home has affected education. Many schools either close on Mondays or record very low attendance. Children miss lessons, teachers lose teaching time, and the academic calendar becomes unstable. Over time, this can put students in the region at a disadvantage compared to their peers elsewhere in the country. So when Soludo says no going back, he is essentially drawing a line. His message is that Anambra must return to normal economic and social life on Mondays, and that the government will not legitimize a practice that, in its view, harms ordinary people more than it helps any cause. How exactly does the government plan to enforce this? From official comments and local accounts, the approach appears to involve a combination of persuasion and security presence. The governor has called on residents to be courageous and return to work, assuring them that the state will provide security. Security agencies have reportedly been instructed to protect lives and property, especially on Mondays, to rebuild public confidence. At the same time, the government has tried to frame this not as a fight against any group, but as a stand for the welfare of the people. Soludo has emphasized that Anambra people are known for hard work, enterprise, and resilience, and that staying at home under fear does not reflect who they are. Still, this issue is not simple, and that's important to say clearly. Many residents remain cautious. Years of uncertainty do not disappear overnight because of a statement from government. Some traders reportedly say they want to open on Mondays, but are waiting to see consistent security over time. Others worry that mixed signals from different actors create confusion on the ground. This is why the governor's insistence is such a big deal. By saying there is no going back, he is signaling that the policy direction of the state is settled. From the government's point of view, every additional Monday of shutdown is a setback. And they believe the cost of inaction is now higher than the risk of pushing for normalcy. Another angle to consider is how this affects Anambra's image nationally and internationally. Investors pay attention to stability. When a state is known for weekly shutdowns, it raises questions about risk, predictability, and long-term planning. The Soludo administration has made attracting investment a key goal, and ending sit at home is seen as part of creating a stable environment for business. There is also the social impact. Communities that shut down regularly experience a breakdown in routine. Religious activities, social events, and even healthcare services can be disrupted. In emergencies, limited movement can cost lives. These are some of the concerns the government says it is trying to address by insisting on an end to the practice. Of course, critics argue that the problem cannot be solved by declarations alone. They say deeper issues of insecurity, mistrust, and unresolved political grievances must also be addressed. Without that, they fear that fear itself will continue to keep people indoors, regardless of official policy. These concerns show that the conversation is still ongoing, even if the government's position is firm. What happens next will depend largely on what people experience on the ground. If Mondays gradually return to normal with open markets, busy roads, and visible security, confidence may slowly rebuild. If not, hesitation will likely persist. For now, the key message from the Anambra State government is clear. The Monday sit at home must end, and the state intends to move forward. If you've been following this issue closely, or you live in or around Anambra, this is one of those moments where staying informed really matters. Policies like this affect daily life in real ways, not just headlines. And before we wrap up this part, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who care about what's happening in the Southeast, subscribe to the channel for ongoing updates, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Do you think the end of Monday sit at home will hold this time? Or do you think more needs to be done first?